Good morning, all. So, in this now in obstetric classes, we are dealing with malpositions and malpresentations. So, already sir has covered with breech presentation. Now, the next malpresentation today we are going to discuss is face presentation. So, actually, it is a cephalic presentation only. Face presentation is a sub-presentation of cephalic presentation. This is a rare variety of cephalic presentation where the presenting part is the face, which is the presenting part. The presenting part is the face. It's a cephalic presentation only, but the presenting part is face. So what is this face, this area? It is a when the attitude of the baby is of complete extension. The baby is of complete extension. Normally it is a complete flexion, but here it is a complete extension where the presenting part is face. So attitude is of complete flexion of limbs, and there is an extension of the spine. The spine is completely extended like this, and this occiput is in contact with the back. So like this, it is a variety of cephalic presentation only where the presenting part is face and the attitude is of other limbs are completely flexed. Only there is a extension of the head and the spine, and the occiput is in contact with the back. Here the denominator is, what is the denominator, all of you? The denominator is the bony prominent bony projection on the presenting part. So here denominator is the mentum. Mentum is the chin. It is the denominator. And usually the face presentation is seen in around 1 in 500 to 1 in 1300 cases. So it's a sub-presentation of the cephalic. When there is some problem during labor or before labor for the baby head to get completely flexed, the normal it is a flexion attitude, then it results into face presentation. So as we know, for occipito-anterior there are 4 positions like that. For face also there are 4 positions. So when there is a right occipito-posterior, normally what we say, it is a right occipito-posterior position is common. So the same is, it will turn into, when there is an extension of completely, it is left mento anterior. So there are 4 positions. Left mento anterior, where the mentum is pointing to the left side of the seat. Then there is a right mento anterior. When it is a left occipito-posterior position, right mento anterior. Then right occipito-anterior. Right occipito-anterior is left mento-posterior. And left occipito-anterior. Left occipito-anterior will turn into the right mento-posterior position. So the most common position is left mento-anterior, because the right occipito-posterior position will change like this. When there is extension, it is a left mento-anterior is the commonest position. As the right occipito-posterior is 5 times more common than left occipito-posterior position. So it is a left mento-anterior. This your mento-anterior. The mentum is in the left quadrant and it's towards the left ischial spine. So it is the left one is more common. So this is a mento-anterior position. This is a mento-posterior position where the mentum is in the burositis. So what is the etiology of face presentation? Usually there are various fetal and maternal factors which results into face presentation. So commonly the fetal problems where there is it will avoid the complete flexion of the fetal neck. So when there are any congenital malformations, so any things which is there into the fetal neck, anything which prevent the flexion of the fetal neck. So either any congenital malformations like goiter, presence of a goiter, dolichocephalic head, when the head is big, or there is a bronchocele, there are any neck tumors, or if there are like this, if there are presence of multiple loops of cord around neck, if there are multiple loops of cord around neck, which prevents the flexion attitude. So twist of cord around the neck. Then when there are neck muscles, there is a hypertonicity of the extensor group of neck muscles. So when they are hypertonic and results in extension attitude. So congenital malformations like goiter, dolichocephalic head, bronchocele, twist or turns around of the cord around the neck, hypertonicity of extensor group of neck muscles are mainly the causes for face presentation. Then so there will some problem with mother. So all of you know there are three factors, three P's. It is a passenger, that means the baby, then passage, that means the pelvis, and the power contractions that we will see. So if there is any problem with the pelvis, like if there is contracted pelvis, usually face presentation seen is flat pelvis. Then any pelvic tumors which prevent the flexion attitude. Then in a mother, if she is a multipara and with pendulous abdomen, there is a laxity of abdominal wall. See, in this, here you can see that when there is a lateral obliquity of the uterus is, there is not a longitudinal axis. Vertical axis is not coinciding with the maternal axis. When there is a obliquity, lateral obliquity of the uterus, then when there is a pendulous abdomen, it is falling forwards. So production of face usually are possible during this. Then in a flat pelvis. So these are the maternal causes for face presentation. So how do you diagnose? Usually the diagnosis, the face presentation, they see that it is a primary and secondary. Primary means it is their face presentation before the onset of labor. And secondary means it is the changes which happen during labor. So primary face presentation is very rare. It is always, usually it is a secondary when there is some change during the mechanism of the labor, and from the occiput it turn into the face presentation. So diagnosis is usually made by the position of the chin. Can you see here? This is the position of the chin which give us. So what is more important is whether the chin is anterior and chin is posterior. So here in this case the chin is anterior. Here in this case the chin is posterior. When the chin is anterior, it is a mento-anterior position. When the chin is posterior, it is a mento-posterior position. So afterwards I will tell you why it is important to know it is a mento-anterior or mento-posterior position. So when we do, there will not be much information available when we do abdominal examination, but still there can be some changes where on inspection we can see there is a lateral obliquity, there is a pendulous abdomen, the spine is changed, but there is no bulging more of in the flanks. And in palpation, in case of mento-anterior position, when there is a mento-anterior position, so this is the extension, head is extended and the ment is anteriorly. So what happens in mento-anterior position? This is mento-anterior. So what will be there in mento-anterior? What we will feel, you can see like this. So mento-anterior. Anteriorly, I'm showing for you like this. So what we can feel is fetal limbs are felt anteriorly. Limbs we can felt very easily and they are felt very anteriorly. The back is there in the flanks. The back is there in the flanks and very difficult. We are not able to palpate the back. The chest is thrown anteriorly against the anterior wall and which can be mistaken for the back. So it will be like this position in the lateral grip in a case of mento-anterior. If it is a mento-posterior position, that means the back is felt to the front. On the pelvic grip, what we'll do on the pelvic grip? Pelvic grip, there will be two things. So the head seems big and it is usually not engaged. It will be dolichocephalic, like the head fixed, because there is no proper flexion. So there is always extension attitude. Extension attitude will be there. So it is felt big. And the cephalic prominence is toward the side where the back is there. Because as there is an extension as there is an extension, this, where is the cephalic prominence? This is a cephalic prominence which is felt towards the back, and it is so like this on palpation, where in the mento-anterior position we'll be able to feel the limbs anteriorly, very difficult to palpate the back is posteriorly, the chest is thrust towards the anterior abdominal wall, and sometimes it is missed for back. And see the occiput, it is towards the back side. Prominence is towards the back side. So in a ventro-posterior position, we'll be able to feel the back, the limbs are laterally, and so that is ventro-posterior position. So usually this face presentation is often confused with the breech presentation. What happens when there is a, as the face is a very irregular part, it is not well fitting, like the head, it is not well fitting into the pelvis, it is very irregular part. So in late labor, the face becomes edematous, there will be swelling, the eyelids, then a person, and so it can be misdiagnosed as a breech presentation, that will become very soft. So the cheeks will be mistaken for the buttocks, and the mouth for the anus. So the mouth will be as anus, and the cheeks will be for the buttocks, and the malar prominence is for ischial tuberosities. So late labor, there can be confusion between the face presentation and breech presentation. So how we can differentiate between these two? So already you have studied the breech presentation. So in breech presentation, what happens, the anus and the ischial tuberosities are in a line. So in case of breech presentation, but that will not be the case in case of face presentation. So the malar prominences and the mouth are not in a one line, and they form a triangle. So malar prominences and mouth form a triangle. And when we do palpation, when we put our finger into the mouth, there will be sucking sensation, but that will not be when you put a finger. When there is anus, there are no sucking things. So this is case of tumefaction, what we can feel, because there is a edema of the face. So how can we confirm diagnosis? Now there is a role for ultrasonography. So ultrasound in labor room, this is the one thing where in malpresentations, malposition, this is a great help for us if we have ultrasound in labor room. So ultrasound can confirm the diagnosis, and the more important thing, it can exclude any problem for the pelvis. So any bony malformation, how ultrasound we can see what is the size of the baby, the weight of the baby, everything we can see by an ultrasound. So the clinical course in face presentation is usually adversely affected. It's not so smooth as that of the cephalic presentation. So why it is not like that in cephalic presentation? Because the face is, there are various structures in the face. So it is a, face is the part in between. What is the part of the face? Chin, and above it is a supraorbital region and gavula. This part is the face. So it's an irregular face. It won't fit well into the pelvis. And as it is not a well-fitting part into the pelvis, it's not well-fitting part to the pelvis, there can be chances of cord prolapse. There is a it's not stretches the cervix properly, so there is a delay in the labor. And when there is a, during mechanism of labor, I will tell you, because why there is a delay in labor. Then the bigger diameters extends through the perineum. So there are increased chances of perineal damage. There is a, and so why there is a delay in labor? So there is no proper, as in a face, when there is a mechanism of labor, there can be molding. But this molding is not possible for face presentation. It cannot mold. Then think that because it is not properly applied, it is not properly applied to the cervix, there is a weak contractions. There is absence of molding, and there is a delay in the engagement. Even if the diameters will discuss, if they are same as of occipito, but there is a delay in engagement. And there is in the third stage, after this, there can be more chances of perineal damage and postpartum hemorrhage because of the prolonged labor or sometimes obstructed labor. So what is the prognosis? So if it is a mento anterior position, mento anterior position, mento anterior position, it is a good prognosis. In mento posterior position, why it is like that, I will tell you. It is, there can be, usually there is no mechanism of labor for mento posterior position. And these cases can lead to obstructed labor, rupture of uterus, and so many complications, maternal morbidity and mortality. So what are the fetal problems? It is also, that already I said that because it is a face is not a well-fitting part, so there can be chances of cord prolapse. There is a prolonged labor. There is an increased time of delivery rather than of occipito anterior position. When the face is continuously, there is a delayed delivery, there can be chances of cerebral congestion due to the poor venous return from the heart and because of the extension of the neck also. So there can be chances of birth asphyxia. Then there can be chances of neonatal infection because of contamination, because this stays there for a longer period of time, and there can be contamination from the bacteria from the vaginas. So how we will manage? Management is the mento anterior position. First stage will be always the watchful expectancy. As we will discuss regarding mento anterior position, we'll see the mechanism of labor in mento anterior position. So first stage is always, we have to do, what is more important is watchful expectancy. And when we will allow these people, ladies to go into the labor, that is also very important. So there should be good uterine contractions, the pelvis should be adequate, the baby should be average weight, the big baby, there can be chances of obstructed labor and prolonged labor. So the baby should be of average weight, the pelvis should be adequate, and the contraction should be good. When if it is there, we can do watchful expectancy and follow the progress of labor. In second stage, we have to give liberal mediolateral episiotomy to avoid the perineal damage. Here, we can use the forceps also if it is a mento anterior position. For mento posterior position, I already told you there is no mechanism of labor. But in some cases, in mento posterior position, they can turn into mento anterior and can deliver. When baby is very small, the pelvis is good. So there can be, but what is more important is strict vigilance is more important in hoping for spontaneous rotation. Then it will deliver as mento anterior. But if there is any change, if it doesn't, it gets short anterior rotation, posterior rotation, direct posterior rotation, we will see all these things. Then there is no mechanism of labor, and these cases we have to take for cesarean section. So what is the mechanism of labor for mento anterior position? So the principal differences between occipito anterior and mento anterior position. So what are the steps for mechanism of labor? So all of you know this is engagement, then there is a descent, then flexion, internal rotation, delivery of the head by extension, then external restitution and external rotation. So the mechanism is same here. So in occipito anterior and mento anterior. So engagement, first thing is engagement. So what is the engaging diameter? In occipito anterior, what is the engaging diameter? It is suboccipitobregmatic. How much it is? 9.5. So in mento anterior also, it is a submentobregmatic. It is a submentobregmatic. So this diameter is also 9.5. So submentobregmatic. So it is also 9.5. So engagement can happen. Then there is a descent. Descent is a continuous process. There is two changes in, so engagement same, descent same. Usually there can be little bit delay in the descent because the face is not a proper ill-fitting part into the pelvis. Two differences for delivery, mainly for the attitude here is for the in occipito anterior, the attitude is of flexion. So there is a complete flexion of everything. So head is flexed, the limbs are flexed, everything is flexed. So attitude is of flexion. But in face presentation, the attitude is of extension. So there is a complete extension like this. See, so there is an extension. This is the difference. Then same internal rotation, the delivery of the head. Normally, what we say, this delivery of the head is by how the head delivers in occipito anterior. Then occipito anterior, the head gets delivered by how head delivers? By extension. But in here in face presentation, in face, it is the flexion. It will delivered as flexion. Then the restitution is same, external rotation is same, expansion by other remaining delivery by of shoulders and everything is same. There is only the change of the delivery of the head. So these are the various positions, left mento anterior, then right mento anterior, what are the changes, and right mento posterior. This is the left mento anterior, right mento anterior, and right mento posterior. This, it is like this, the baby will be there in the abdomen. So the diameter of engagement, it's oblique diameter. So mentum is the prominent part, opposite is villa. So it is, the mentum is at the one pubic eminences, the mentum is there. And here it should be, it is a completely show like this. I know it is very difficult for you to understand on this, but there is no option for us. So like this. So mentum at one pubic eminences and glabella at opposite sacroiliac joint. So glabella is there at one opposite sacroiliac joint. The engaging diameter is submentobregmatic, 9.5 centimeter. So engagement is usually delayed because the long distance of the between the mentum and the biparietal diameter. Biparietal diameter and mentum, there is a long distance. So it's sorry. So the engagement is delayed because of long distance between the mentum and the biparietal diameter. So for occiput, the biparietal diameter for the occiput, it is only 3 centimeter, but for the mentum, it is 7 centimeter. So there is a delay in the engagement. So then there is a descent. Descent, I said, it is a continuous process through and through. So like this, it gets descent. So with increasing extension, always there is a increasing extension. As we say that during occipito anterior position, there is a increasing flexion. But in face presentation, there will be increasing extension when it is going to enter through the pelvis. So with increasing extension, the descent occur till the chin reaches the pelvic floor. Till the chin reaches the pelvic floor, there is a descent. Here, what happens when we say that there is a rotation occurs at the level of pelvic interischial spines, but here there is a little down. The head has to come to the pelvic floor. Then there can be rotation. See, there's mentum is here. We can see mentum facing towards the and towards the opposite this one. So there is a continuous descent which happens, and then there is a rotation. So further descent occurs till the submentum position hinges around the down the pubic arch. Then there is an internal rotation, same as 1/8 of the circle. When it gets rotated by 1/8 of the circle, it will come to the submentum hinges under the pubic symphysis. You can see here, this is a chin and the submental part is hinges under the pubic symphysis, anteriorly placing the mentum just behind the pubic symphysis. Here it will be the mentum just behind the pubic symphysis. Then during cephalic presentation, the head is delivered by extension. But here the head delivers by, this is the chin which is facing. So here there is a baby will be, the head delivery will be by flexion. So submentum, it is hinging under the pubic symphysis. So for the delivery of the baby, it should get the delivery by flexion. So the head is born by flexion. What comes out? So the chin, then the face, flexion, like this it will deliver. Chin, the face, the brows, then the vertex, and then the occiput. So like this with flexion, for occipito anterior it will be extension. For face presentation it will be flexion. So here when it is a delivering, the diameter which is distending the vulval outlet is submento-vertical, and it is 11.5 centimeter. Like this, the head is there. So it is 11.5 centimeter. It is stretching the perineal outlet, and because of that, there can be increased chances of perineal muscle tears, injuries, traumatic PPH. It can occur. Then the rest of the delivery is same. The restitution occurs through 1/8 of the circle opposite to internal rotation, and the external rotation, because for the shoulder has to come in anterior posterior diameter, so it is same as at occipito anterior. Further 1/8 of the circle it rotates and then there is a delivery of the rest. Only there is a change for the delivery of the head. The rest everything is same. Can you see here? There is a descent, the chin comes anteriorly, then this is the sequence how it gets delivered, like this, by flexion. Chin, then there is a mouth, nose, okay, like this. It delivers, and then the occiput and the vertex. And this is submento-vertical diameter, which is stretching the pelvic outlet. And because of this, it is 11.5 centimeter. And because of this, there is a chances of perineal injuries. So this is regarding mento anterior. What about mento posterior positions? So I already told you, when if it is a baby is very average size, the pelvis is very good. So 20 to 25 will change into mento anterior. So here you can see there. This is a mento posterior position, Z side. Right? So here it can turn either like a same occipito anterior. There can be 20 to 30% cases, there will be anterior rotation. So long anterior rotation. It will be 3/8 of the circle. So long anterior rotation, it will come as mento anterior and deliver. If it is a short rotation, 1/8 of the circle, if it rotates there, then it results into the transverse. If it rotates transverse like this, if it rotates long anterior rotation, mento anterior. If it rotates short, 1/8 transverse. But if it gets rotated posteriorly, then it will become the mento posterior position. So either it can be incomplete anterior rotation, there is a short posterior rotation, or there is a no rotation. So when there is an incomplete anterior rotation, there is a short posterior rotation and non-rotation in this persistent mento-posterior, this is all. And there is no mechanism of labor for this positions, and you have to go for cesarean section. If you diagnose mento-posterior position before labor only, so, and already it's almost 7 to 80% cases mento-posterior position, there is no thing as it will turn into mento-anterior and delivered. So these cases will go for cesarean section. So arrest occurs in all this position with the average size pelvis and fetal head. In short posterior position, no possibility of delivery because the short neck cannot clear of the total length of the sacrum 12 centimeter. The short neck cannot clear of that, and there is no mechanism of labor as direct occipito-posterior where there can be face to pubis delivery. But that is not possible in case of face presentation. So at such thorax, you can see the posterior, this one is thirsting. The thorax is coming inside in resulting in this bregmatosternal diameter, sternobregmatic diameter, which is 18 centimeter, and which occupies the pelvis when there is a mento-posterior position. And this can result into the obstructed labor, prolonged labor, and there can be chances of rupture of the uterus also. So we will see the Girish.
Presentation. The face is the presenting part which comes in relation with the internal os. Before I start with the cardinal movements, just have a look what are the conditions under which the fetus lies. So here, lie is the longitudinal, presentation is the cephalic, presenting part is face, denominator is mentum, it is the bony fixed point which come in relation with the pelvic brim. Attitude is flexion of the limbs.
Can you see?
There is a complete extension of head. So the occiput come in relation with the back, and there are 4 positions which are formed in the pelvic brim are. The first position is right mento-posterior, in which the mentum is directed toward the right side of sacroiliac joint.
Can you see this?
Second position is left mento-posterior, in which the mentum is directed toward the left sacroiliac joint. And the third, which is the commonest position in the mentum, is left mento-anterior, in which mentum is directed toward the left side of iliopectineal eminence. And the fourth one is right mento-anterior. This face presentation, the face is the presenting part which comes in relation with the internal os. Before I start with the cardinal movements, just have a look what are the conditions under which the fetus lies. So here, lie is the longitudinal, presentation is the cephalic, presenting part is face, denominator is mentum, it is the bony fixed point which come in relation with the pelvic brim. Attitude is flexion of the limbs, and there is a complete extension of head. So the occiput come in relation with the back, and there are 4 positions which are formed in the pelvic brim are. The first position is right mento-posterior, in which the mentum is directed toward the right side of sacroiliac joint. Second position is left mento-posterior, in which the mentum is directed toward the left sacroiliac joint. And the third, which is the commonest position in the mentum, is left mento-anterior, in which mentum is directed toward the left side of iliopectineal eminence. And the fourth one is right mento-anterior. So the mentum is directed toward the right side of iliopectineal eminence. So here I will show the mechanism on the anterior aspect, and the common position is left mento anterior, and these movements are similar as in the occipito-anterior. So first step is engagement. The engaging diameter of fetal head is submentobrachmatic. So it starts from below the mentum or chin till the bregma, and it is about 9.5 centimeter, and it engages in the right oblique diameter of pelvic brim. So engagement occurs. After engagement, there is descent, and descent is a continuous process which takes place throughout the labor, and it ends at the delivery of baby. Instead of flexion, there is increased extension, and after extension, the moment is internal rotation of mentum, and it rotates 1/8 of the circle and comes behind the symphysis pubis. But there is twist which occur in between the head and the shoulder, and the shoulder lies in the oblique diameter of pelvic brim. After internal rotation, the chin sweeps the subpubic arc, and the chin, face, brow, vertex, and then the occiput is borne by the movement of flexion instead of extension as in occipito-anterior. After that, the restitution takes place, that is 1/8 of the circle rotation, in which the twist which was occurred at the time of internal rotation of mentum is released here. After that, there is internal rotation of shoulder, and shoulder rotate 1/8 of the circle and comes behind symphysis pubis, and externally it is visible by the external rotation of head. Now the head and the shoulders are in the direct alignment. The anterior shoulder sweeps the subpubic arc, and the posterior shoulder escape the perineum, and the rest of the body is borne by the movement of lateral flexion. So this mechanism takes place in the anterior position. Now comes the mechanism in mento-posterior position, and in the mento-posterior, the mechanism is same as in occipito-posterior, and in that there are three conditions occurs. The first condition is incomplete forward rotation, and the mentum rotate only 1/8 of the circle, or it could be non-rotation. It means there is no rotation and it become arrested in that position only. And the third one is malrotation, in which mentum rotate posteriorly and come in relation with the sacrum. And in all three conditions, vaginal delivery cannot be possible. As in occipito-posterior position, the face to pubis delivery would be possible, but here it cannot be possible because the length of neck is short and the sacral hollow is about 12 centimeter long, and as the extension occurs, the thorax also thrusts in and it causes arrest in that position. So all these three conditions creates obstruction and the vaginal delivery is obscure. So here we learn the how mechanism takes place in mento anterior and mento posterior face presentation. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel, like the video, and click on bell button.
Girish,
मेरी सगी माँ ने अगर मेरे ऊपर बहुत प्यार किया होता, मेरे को बहुत संभाला होता, तो मेरे को माँ की कीमत नहीं समझती।
Girish,
20 साल की उम्र में मेरे पति ने मुझे घर से निकाल दिया। मेरे मायके वालों ने भी मुझे
गिरीश?
नहीं करा। मेरा कोई नहीं था। मैं भिखारियों के साथ खाना खाती। मैं उन्हें खाना देती, वो मुझे सुरक्षा देते। मेरा सफर तो कठिन था ही, पर औरों का सफर उससे भी कठिन था। जो प्यार मुझे नहीं मिला था, वो मैं देना सीखी। इसलिए मैंने खुद को भुला दिया और मैं अनाथों की माँ बन गई बस।
Girish, ఇది స్టాప్ ఇక్కడ స్టాప్ ఇది
मेरे बच्चे डॉक्टर
ఇది बच्चे ना
होटल मैनेजमेंट में है और न जाने क्या क्या।
बट आ स्क्रीन रावत
और मेरे साथ को एक बच्चे ने तो मुझ में पीएचडी की है, पुणे यूनिवर्सिटी से, क्या बात है मेरी।
So this is regarding, I think now it is clear because on this we are not able to show you properly. So I showed you a video. There is a link and you can just watch it. There are 2-3 videos are there on the YouTube where mechanism of labor, and in the demonstration anyway we are going to teach you all this because you each and everyone has to demonstrate this. This will be for the exam. So the question for phase presentation usually it comes is what is the etiology of phase presentation and what is the mechanism of labor in occipito-anterior, like that. One question can come. The other one is describe the steps, primigravida with 37 weeks of pregnancy in labor, and she has come with delayed, she is 3 to 4 centimeter and there is no progress of labor. And on pervaginal examination, you can feel there is a mouth can be felt, the reminiscence can be felt, like that. So what is your diagnosis and how you will manage the case? For practical purpose, this is what is the mechanism of labor that you have to show. And the question what comes when it will left, if it is a mento-posterior positions, what will you do? So this is a rare malpresentation, and one more rare malpresentation with face is a bro presentation. There is one only, this one which I want to show for bro presentation is there is no mechanism of labor for bro presentation because the diameter it is for the bro presentation is 14 centimeters. So mento-vertical diameter which is 14 centimeter, and there is no diameter of the pelvis through which it can go, and there is no mechanism of labor for bro presentation. So if the bro presentation is diagnosed, that then when there is a prominences have been felt, like when if they are felt, and this is part bro presentation, if it is felt, you have to go for directly for cesarean section. So this is regarding face and bro. You have to read, always I tell you, we give the topics before, so you come read and prepare it, and after that also you can read. Regarding other, this one, the last exam which we have conducted, I think all of you have not taken it very seriously. It's only MCQs, and this one I'm very much disappointed regarding your performance. So you can just let us know what is your problem, for that why there is so much of less marks you have got. Any queries? So to summarize, in face presentation, left mento anterior is very common presentation. Usually if there are any problem for the flexion attitude, so as there is any problem in the fetal neck, any tumors, any cord around neck, any size of the problem, congenital abnormalities, or there is any excessive extensor, this one problem into the neck muscles, and if there is any maternal problems like pendulous abdomen, lateral obliquity, flat pelvis, there the face presentation can happen. Therefore, left mento anterior, there will be mechanism of labor as occipito anterior. Only the change will be that there is a delivery of the face will be by flexion, and then the rest of the things are same. For mento posterior, if it turns 2/3, then there is a delivery. If there is no rotation, malrotation or posterior rotation, there will be no mechanism of labor and has to go for cesarean section. Okay, thank you.